Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure and Transport. Will the Deputy Prime Minister update the House on how the government is investing in the infrastructure needed to increase productivity and create local jobs, including in the great electorate of Mallee? Is the Deputy Prime Minister aware of any roadblocks to this success?
The Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, when the regions are strong, so too is our nation. And I thank the member for Mallee for his question, for his advocacy for his great electorate. And certainly he knows that the Liberals and Nationals have an ongoing commitment to deliver for regional Australia, especially in regional Victoria. I'm proud to be part of this government, Mr Speaker, which is driven to deliver for our nation's regions. The home of our farmers, our resources, those food and fibre producers, Mr Speaker, some of the hardest working people in Australia. And that's why we turn up on this side every day to fight for the regions so that they can get their fair share, their share of the pie, to fight for hard-working Australians so they can keep more of their money in their pockets and fight for the essential services that Australians need, want, demand and expect. And when you've got a strong economy, you can build the road and rail and the infrastructure that our country needs. We also know that not all the best ideas come from Canberra, and that's why every chance that we get, we're out on the road talking to people, more importantly listening to people. And I was so pleased to be with the Prime Minister and the Minister for Agriculture on our drought tour just the other day, listening to people, making sure that we heard their issues, their concerns. We heard from farmers who are doing it tough in the member for Parkes electorate and the member for Maranoa's electorate as well. But it's not only the farmers, it's the flow-on effect to those small businesses that do it tough, the machinery and equipment dealers, the small cafe feeling the pressure, feeling the pinch as the disposable income dries up due to the prolonged dry spell. But we're building the infrastructure that our local communities need. We're building for the future projects such as the $20 million for the Calder and Western Highway upgrades, $10 million upgrading the regional airport at Mildura in the member for Mallee's electorate, and $3 million modernisation of water infrastructure in Victoria's Sunraysia region near Mildura. Important projects, but it's also about delivering the sort of infrastructure that we need in Braddon, local infrastructure that we need in Braddon. $400 million, such as upgrading roads throughout Tasmania, including in the electorate of Braddon, and the almost $8 million set aside to upgrade highways. We've invested more than $871,000 in bridge replacements in Braddon. We've invested more than $18 million through programs including the Regional Jobs and Investment Package and Building Better Regions Fund in Braddon. Compare and contrast this to Labor. Labor is a roadblock to growth. It is a roadblock to building the infrastructure that families, that farmers, that businesses need in Braddon, in Longman, elsewhere. It's a roadblock to jobs. Not just today's jobs, but jobs for our children and our children's children. I urge all Australians, especially in Braddon, to consider the risks of those two, Shadow Minister, to consider the risks of sending another roadblock at a Canberra.
The Deputy Prime Minister's time has concluded. The member